Okay, so with the Captain Marvel trailer out, a lot of questions.
I think more questions than this trailer could answer, or even the actual real trailer are going to answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery. So let's talk about Captain Mar-Vell, or maybe not. We don't really know. Okay, so the first shot we're talking about here in this video, it's very out of focus and blurry.
Yes.
And
intentionally,
obviously. It's a interesting shot because it shows us Carol. She's already got her proper suit, if you will, the comic suit. She's clenching her fist, and we see kind of a very blurry figure.
Yes.
Many people assume, including myself, that this is Jude Law's Captain Mar-Vell.
And I can definitely see that as well because of the fact that you can see the skin color, so it's not blue, so it's not a Kree. He's in a green suit, which is the suit that we're seeing they're all part of.
It looks green, but it also looks silver. That's the thing. To me, it looks like it has like this silver accent on it.
And it might be, though, the out-of-focus look of it, too.
So we don't know. And that kind of brings us to the topic today, which I've seen many people, even in our breakdown that myself and Mitch did, which I'll put up here for you guys. If you missed that, it's a 23-minute video. The thing about it is, I think it has to be Jude Law's character, and the reason I keep saying Jude Law's character is because he's never confirmed as Captain Mar-Vell. We know they're using the basis of that character, but he might not be called that. Maybe he will in the movie. Now, my guess is that he is going to be the villain in this. He's kind of like a patsy to these other dudes doing their bidding, and he's kind of trying to orchestrate the war and everything. Now, why he might be the villain, my guess is that they've been trying to acquire the power that Carol gets this entire time, and she gets it, and they're trying to stop her. So this is that final showdown in the desert, by the look of it.
And it looks like with the previous scene of Jude Law's character is his eyes are not a normal person's color eyes. So could he be currently being manipulated by Ronan and the Kree, or is he actually a Skrull as well? That's also another ongoing theory that could be going around.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well, because we don't know, the thing is, we don't know how the Skrulls reveal themselves.
No, we
don't. Do their eyes shift colors? Certainly from the old lady, we don't know. But then again, the effects aren't done, so maybe the shot's just not in there, and that's kind of the thing with it.
And it's something Marvel loves to do because they took entire scenes back in the Civil War trailers. They removed all of the Spider-Man scenes.
Infinity War, you watch the first trailer and you watch the final movie, you're like, and half these scenes aren't even in here. So they could be bullshotting us realistically, and that is a thing.
They love doing that, to make us do these kind of theory videos.
Right, they sure do. And that's kind of the, going theory on here, because we know that the Kree are going to be bad in the future. They are, because they're led by Ronan. They're fighting, they're fighting the Nova Corp and everything. We know in this it's the Skrull-Kree war, and we know something starts it. So clearly there's this conflict, and Captain Marvel is in the middle of it. Now, her powers in this seem to be, we don't really know what they're doing, honestly, with it. We have no idea. Is it the comic version, a new version, a melding of it?
I sat there and I was looking through the trailer, literally screenshot for screenshot, and it looks like, based on what I'm able to see of the trailer, and again, they could be pulling us in a completely different direction, is her ship gets hit, or her airplane gets hit, and she's in the ground with the spaceship, and it almost looks like the spaceship's conductor blows, and that's what's giving her the power, because she sits there and she blasts backwards and she's in a crater, and then you see that she has it. So a normal human wouldn't be able to do that. So you and I were kind of talking a little bit.
Are they going to play with that she was somehow enhanced before this? Are they going to do some sort of thing like that? Because we really don't know what direction they're taking on with it. And at the same time, you have to remember, Marvel has already played around with the Kree. The Kree created the Inhumans as experiments. So we even talked about this. Is there a possibility that Captain Marvel could somehow have some of that Inhuman DNA in her? I don't think they're going to pull it that way just because the Inhumans are more TV focused, but it's interesting,
Another thing, though, that I just kind of thought of, if she's able to withstand that type of blast, the only other person that can withstand a blast like that is Captain America.
Right.
Because of the super soldier serum. So could they, because there's a scene of her in space, in a spaceship almost. But with her U.S. military gear,
right.
so
Are they going to tie something in like that, right? We don't know, because there's so much based around the history of the MCU, and certainly, I wouldn't put it out of question. I don't think they'll do it, but, like, the Hulk is the result of Captain America. Many people forget that, but it's not a gamma bomb. He was literally trying to recreate the super soldier serum, you know?
And he used the gamma radiations,
right.
and that's what caused the
there's a lot of things in this. I definitely think that we're getting a new origin.
Oh, yes.
I think they're going to pull from different aspects of her existence, Captain Mar-Vell a little bit, because in the comics, you know, she gets merged with Kree DNA, which is why she has the power. She's a human, which is why she's accepted. Same with Captain Mar-Vell. I think that's what they're doing in this, because you see all the other species are clearly not human.
No, they're clearly either Kree or potentially Kree molded because of the fact that we have the normal Kree. They look nothing like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version. They look nothing like any of the other versions we've seen. They look... The only thing that's similar is the fact that they're blue-skinned. And that's it.
So, like, I think they're gonna, honestly... This movie clearly is gonna be retconning some of the MCU and adding more elements. Ronan, we're gonna see who he was.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna see Korath before he's just working, you know, for the Collector, trying to acquire the stuff. How did he fall? Because he's not in this trailer.
No, he's not.
But he's right on the side when Captain Marvel is marching with the rest of her crew.
Yeah,
so
he's the only other one who's not blue.
He's fallen from, like, top-tier protector of the galaxy to low-life scum hunter. Like, that's pretty impressive.
I'm wondering if maybe they are all mind washed and they think that they're these high protectors, and they're not.
And they're bidding on the war. You know, they're doing the bidding to start this war, which could be it, because once again they're playing with amnesia. So I feel like this is definitely going in way different directions than we're all anticipating. You know, to subvert us for one, but also to show us that things are going to play out differently in the MCU. Like, it's not a straight up, I'm a hero, I'm going to do the hero thing and I'm done. I think there is going to be a bunch of playing both sides, and are the villains actually villains, and are the Skrulls actually bad?
Yeah.
You know?
Because you never know. They could be coming down to Earth not to invade Earth, but to get away from the Kree, and the best way for them to do that is to become human.
Right, to try to blend in, and the Kree are like, we must wipe them out. Which would give me more of a belief that that could be the, you know, push for it, because it's like, every time we see the Kree, all they want to do is destroy humanity.
And this almost seems a little bit different, because the only scenes we've actually seen with at least the Skrull is one's being operated on and they're coming out of the ocean. So
and that's it.
How did they come in there if it wasn't the Kree forcing them out of their homes? And then it just sits there and really makes you stop and think of how the Kree were in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that's all they did. They took the last bit of humanity and crippled them and made it so that the only thing they felt was worthless and they had to obey by the Kree. So that would make sense if they tried doing it with the Skrull, failed, then here comes the future, and that's when they do it again.
I definitely feel that they're playing with a lot of elements and changing a lot of stuff up, which, as I always say, is exactly what I want. I never want a straight adaptation, because to me that's boring. If I get what I got in the comics, I'm bored. Like, I've seen this.
Especially because, like you just said, you've seen it, you know how it's going to happen, and that's something that we want, something to surprise us. And already how it looks like they're changing how Captain Marvel got her power. There you go. That's one way of already changing it. And what they're doing with Ronan, which we already know is a bad guy working with Thanos, and like, okay, so how did he fail the Kree War? And that's when he went to Thanos and was like, you know what, I need the power to be able to defeat my enemies, but my enemies are everyone, because everyone is against the Kree.
So I think this is going to explain a lot of it. Clearly, there's still a lot of theories, which you guys can let us know in the comments below, and let us know what you think of what we just talked about, because there is a lot to unpack from just a teaser trailer.
One thing I do want to say, actually we had a fan show us this. If you look at Marvel's newest poster of Captain Marvel, look down in the little corner. You're going to see...
You're going to see the cat. Chewie.
You'll see Chewie, which...
But it doesn't seem like... That's definitely not going to be the cat's name.
And maybe he chews things and she makes a little reference being like, you're such a chewy.
Yeah.
And then that's it. But it looks like her cat is in it. And I really like that they kind of hid that because Captain Marvel fans know that she loves her cat.
As a cat. So, yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts on what we talked about. If you guys have anything else you spotted and what you might think about that blurry shot. Is that Mar-Vell or something else?